31 songs, 2 discs, and 93 minutes worth of music.
What?
Napalm Death have just released a compilation album of unreleased songs, B-sides and covers that would put most of their contemporaries to shame.
Ooh!
With coded smears and more uncommon slurs. Now, as you might have already ascertained, today is more than likely going to be another car edition, as it is currently the bank holiday, which by law means in Englandhamshire it must rain. No fun shall be permitted whilst inhabiting Englandhamshire. The sun will not shine during these days. Englandhamshire does not permit such pleasures. Before I get started on the review, if you haven't already, make sure that you like and subscribe. I'm doing about 3 videos a week, currently 3 albums a week. I'm sure there's some shit in there that you might actually find entertaining. So yeah, like and subscribe. As it is the bank holiday and I've got an extra day off, I figured that I might actually do a couple of extra reviews this weekend. After all, a holiday is no excuse for slacking off. Well, you've got nothing else to do. Yeah, but they don't know that. Now, due to an international company who we all know will one day rule the earth, completely fucking up my order and not getting it to me on time, I was forced to brave town on the way here to pick up my Napalm Death album. I had to actually go to a store and see people, which sucks. But I actually found a couple of other albums which I'm going to review this week. First of all is the new Primordial album, Exile Amongst the Ruins. I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet, but I will be doing a review on that soon. Well, this week. I'm embarrassed to say that I didn't realise that this Ginger Wildheart album came out, I think it was at the beginning of March. I only just found it today. So I definitely will be doing a review to make up for that one. Ginger Wildheart is one of my all-time heroes. Wonderful man. I wanted to pick up my Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats Mind Control album, which is going to be my subscribers' request this week, but I couldn't find a copy of that, so I'm going to have to wait for said corporation to get their shit together and get me my goddamn copy. And I also picked up a copy of Rob Zombie's last album, which I don't think I'll be doing a review on. It's just one of them ones that actually came out in 2016, but I never got a copy of it. But interesting fact. Right, so the gods of Englandhamshire have blessed me with grey skies, yet little rain. So I'm going to take this opportunity to try and get out for a bit and do this review. Napalm Death are one of those bands that require no introduction, or at least I don't intend to do one. They've been going since the mid-80s, and they've been incredibly influential on so many goddamn bands that we all know and love. And there's been so many members from the band who've was it Bill Steer went on to Carcass, Justin Broadrick of course went on to Godflesh, Lee Dorian, Cathedral, Rise Above Records, etc. I'm sure there's other people I'm missing, but the definitive lineup of Napalm Death pretty much at this point is Mark Barney Greenway on vocals, of course. Comes from the same town as Black Sabbath's Desire Barney. Shane Embry on bass, Mitch Harris on guitar, and then we have Danny Herrera on drums. And that's pretty much been the most consistent lineup of the band for a good 18 years, I believe. I'm filming a bit to put in this shit. There was also a period where they had Jesse Pindado on guitars, who left the band in 2006 or 2004. Yeah, he left the band in 2004, and he sadly passed away in 2006. One thing that has to be said for Napalm Death: they're an incredibly consistent band, considering how extreme they are. And when I say consistent, I don't mean as in repetitive, because one thing I love about Napalm Death is they're not afraid to experiment with different sounds. This filming's of me to put into thee. It's unlike a lot of death metal bands, although they're more grindcore, and there's definitely more grindcore and hardcore with Napalm Death. I mean, they are considered the forefathers of grindcore. But unlike a lot of extreme bands, they actually don't mind experimenting a bit and throwing a few other things out there. Because I know they're a huge fan of Swans and that sort of more noise, experimental, avant-garde sort of style of doing things, which is always welcome. This piece has little relevance to this review. This is the first thing they've released since 2015's Apex Predator Easy Meat, which was an incredible album. They've had a real string of good albums over the last decade or so. I think a few people maybe thought that they dipped a little in the mid-90s or the end of the 90s, but I actually enjoyed quite a few of those albums, and yeah, they've definitely had a real upswing in terms of what they've been doing in the last decade. Just great album after great album. They're an institution at this point, and a damn good one. Well said, Ben, well said. Now, as I stated in the intro, this is a 2-disc set, 31 songs and 93 minutes worth of music, and it's basically a compilation of unreleased songs, rarities, B-sides, covers from various album sessions since 2008, I believe. I hope no one's looking. Right off the bat, I'm going to tell you now, I was astonished at the quality of these songs. This could easily be an album, because they've also they've not one thing that I really appreciated, they haven't just put the songs in chronological order. They put some real thought into the sequencing of this album, so they're all over the place, and the quality of the songs is astonishing. It's insane. What's going on? What's with the world? I was expecting to listen to this album, and I was expecting a lot of filler. A lot of bands who do this sort of thing, they just release any old shit. Not Napalm Death. I was astonished at the quality of some of the songs on this damn thing. Absolutely incredible. The energy of this band, it really tickles me to see a band who've been going around this long, basically a bunch of old fucks by now, like me, and really kicking ass. The energy on it is just incredible. The musicianship is razor sharp, so tight. The playing is so goddamn on point. Barney's vocals are furious at points. Of course, we have Shane Embry's fantastic precise bass lines. Mitch Harris's riffs are just absolutely incredible, so sharp, so on point. And Danny Herrera's drumming, I mean, his blast beats, he's no slouch, that's for damn sure. Usually I go through this stuff track by track, which I'm not going to do today, purely because this will end up being a 3-hour video. But that's not me being dismissive of any of the songs herein. I am sorry, England, Hampshire gods. Creepy. Musically speaking, it's a lot of it's what you would expect from Napalm Death. That grindcore mix of hardcore punk and death metal. But that's not to be dismissive of anything here, because there's some genuinely great stuff on here. So I'm going to pick out some highlights, and that's not to say that these songs are better or worse than any of the others. It's just they're just ones that stuck out to me. It has to be said that considering this is 93 minutes in length, I've listened to this all the way through in one sitting 3 times in preparation for this, and I think it's a testament to the quality of the songs and the songwriting that I didn't really get fatigued at all, when you also consider how extreme this music is as well. If there's one thing you can always rely on Napalm Death for, it's extremity. They don't fuck around. There aren't many bands who are as heavy as this. So, the opening track is Standardization, and this lets you know exactly what you're in for the remainder of this 2-disc set. They're just fucking awesome, really. I think this originally appeared on the LP version of Utilitarian. Blast beats, frantic guitar, precision bass playing, and furious vocals from Barney Greenway, showing everybody exactly how you do this form of music. It Failed to Explode. This was on the Japan only release of, again, Utilitarian. This had a kind of I Want to Be Your Dog by the Stooges kind of a riff to it. Very good. Oxygen of Duplicity. This had a kind of this had a weird kind of sinister mesh of a kind of gothic vibe to it, which was kind of a mesh of Killing Joke and Typo Negative, early Typo Negative. I very much enjoyed this one, and this came from a split EP they did with the Melvins, who have an album coming out soon as well. I can't wait to review that one. You'll probably like it. Yeah. I did notice that a lot of the songs that really stood out to me were the ones that came from the split EPs they did. This next one is, if my phone works properly, Phonetics for the Stupefied, which came from a 2014 split they did with Voivod. Has a kind of a it has a kind of a My War era Black Flag discordant outro. Really cool. Suppressed Hunger. This was from the Time Waits for No Slave sessions. Some full-on blast beats on this one. Shane Embry's bass takes centre stage for parts of the song, and Barney sounds fucking furious on this song. Absolutely love it. To Go Off on Things. This is another one from the Melvin split, and this is a fairly faithful cover of a song by the Cardiacs. Yeah, fairly faithful cover, I'd say, but given that brutal Napalm Death overhaul. Next standout one for me was another cover, G-ANX. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. This was from the Apex Predator sessions, and this is 2 songs in one: Clouds of Cancer and Victims of Ignorance. Absolutely furious. 2 songs condensed into 2 minutes from this punk band. I'm not sure where they're from. I did actually, I think they were from the 90s. I'm not sure if it's a European band. Another real rager is Like Piss to a Sting, which was from a split with Melt Banana, who's a band I've not heard of actually, so I'll have to check them out, see what they're about. Crash the Pose, which is a cover of Gauze, a Japanese hardcore band who are very worth checking out. It's worth checking this album out, even if it's just to sort of see where their influences lie and the bands they're covering, because it's more than likely you'll enjoy checking those bands out as well. Another split, this time it was with Converge, Will by Mouth, blast beats aplenty, and punk as fuck. The next one is one that I really enjoyed, Omnipresent Knife in Your Back. This is one of the, there are a couple of songs over here which are, go over the 5-minute mark, and this is one of them. And I really enjoyed this side. This is a side of Napalm Death that I really enjoy, and this is that more mid-paced Swans, much more plodding and menacing. Barney's vocals as well got more of a sinister, clean sound to them, which I think really work, and I love it when Napalm Death do this sort of style. And this one came from the Time Waits for No Slave sessions. And then we have another longer song. This one's actually 6 minutes and 7 seconds. Atheist Runt, which was from the Smear Campaign sessions. This is a real haunting, again, slower paced, noise based one. Barney's vocals in this one are almost like it's almost like Gregorian chanting. Really epic song. Really enjoyed this one. And the last one I wanted to talk about was Weltschmerz. I think that's how you pronounce it. This is the extended Apocalypse version. Weltschmerz means a feeling of melancholy and world weariness, which encapsulates the feeling on this song perfectly. This is an instrumental, but it's an extended version, extended Apocalypse version, which comes across to me as almost like an industrial mesh of early Typo Negative and Cradle of Filth. Really enjoyed this one. This one took us out. This is the last. This was the last song on there. So that was Napalm Death with Coded Smears and More Uncommon Slurs. 2 discs, 31 songs, 93 minutes worth of music. One of those bands that's been around a long time, still kicking ass, still showing everybody else how to do it, still progressing, still doing phenomenal stuff. Oh dear me, did I just have a load of shit? For my subscribers' request, I'm going to be doing Mind Control by Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats. My next latest release will be Primordial, Primordial's latest album, which I just picked up. Haven't had a chance to look at that yet, and as I've just discovered it, I'm going to do a review of the latest Ginger Wildheart album, which actually came out, sounds like a good month ago now, but I've only just discovered it. So I'm going to do a review of that as well. Keep an eye out. Plenty more coming up. Next week I'm going to be doing something different, as there's the new Eels album. So I'm going to be recording. I'll be doing a review of that. I'm keen to start doing a couple more reviews that aren't metal. This is always going to be predominantly a metal channel, but yes. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, comment, share, get notifications, and